I would rather be stuck on a deserted island or going through the apocalypse with a code red rebel. Why? I'll explain everything coming right up.
I'm Cristy Code Red, and you're listening to Rebel Weight Loss and Lifestyle, where we believe food holds the power to heal or poison, and we believe our society has been misled regarding proper nutrition and weight loss. You're in the right place if you're looking for some straight up truth, because I'm here to shed light on the lies and brainwashing that has taken place over the past 5 decades. Thanks so much for listening.
Welcome back to another episode of Rebel Weight Loss and Lifestyle. I'm your host, Cristy Code Red, author, entrepreneur, retired professional boxer. And I am excited about this episode because we're talking about anti-fragile, becoming anti-fragile. Now, the way that Code Red was even born, the way that Code Red rebels were even born, the word rebel, we call ourselves Code Red rebels because we rebel against what society, the government, the education system has brainwashed us to believe for 70 plus years. We have been brainwashed to believe that you need to exercise to lose weight. We've been brainwashed to believe that you eat low fat so that you can lose fat. We've been brainwashed to believe that you eat frequently, 3 meals and 2 snacks during the day. All the things that we've been brainwashed to believe have kept us sick and fat for over 70 years, longer than that. But really, that's when we've really seen this incredible increase in obesity, disease, cancer, etc. And we are the sickest and fattest in human history. And so that's how the word Code Red Rebel was born, because we do not bend a knee to that narrative. We go against what we've been brainwashed to believe. And it's learning and unlearning. I mean, it's definitely we were taught it depends on how old you are listening to this right now, but we were taught the food pyramid. I remember specifically being taught the food pyramid. You need 9 to 11 servings of grain a day. And the meat is at the very top, and all these vegetables and meat is at the very top, and fat is at the very top, and eggs are at the very top. And it's just absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. Really, the food pyramid needs to be flipped upside down, and that's how we need to look at it. But it's driven by money. It's driven by industry. It's driven by lobbyists. There is no money in healthy people. Healthy people makes a lot of sense. They sure don't make a lot of dollars. And so the food pyramid did not come from actual studies and research. It was all about money. The World Health Organization at one point said, hey, you need to consume less than X amount of sugar a day. And the lobbyists and the industry went absolutely crazy. The sugar industry, very powerful industry, went absolutely crazy and made them take that out of the food guidelines. So it's really been a battle. It's a battle for your health all these years. And I started off this podcast saying that I would rather go through an apocalypse or some sort of a horrific situation with a Code Red Rebel. That's because Code Red Rebels are tougher than your average duck. They are anti-fragile. And every single thing we do in Code Red helps you become anti-fragile. Everything. Physically, socially, mentally, everything helps you become anti-fragile. Now, it is the spring, kind of going into summer, 2024, the end of May. I'm recording this right now. And let me tell you how woke our society has gotten. It is nauseating how woke everything is. You can't even sneeze wrong without offending someone, without someone calling you a name, without you being called blank shaming, or you being called an anti this or a hater for that or something. I mean, people are so quick to cancel folks. They are so quick to scream and shout. I can't believe you say one thing, not even wrong, just one thing against what they don't like. And the crowd goes crazy. The people are so quick to jump on the cancel culture bandwagon. They're so quick to be offended. We are such a bunch of sissy, pansy, weak people, easily offended, thin skinned, weak minded people in the society. It is nauseating. We got a bunch of beta males. We got a bunch of overpowering, women who were just these independent, like, rah, rah. Listen, I get it. I run a company. I do my own thing, but I want to be with my person. I don't want to be, there's this whole movement right now, called the trad wife movement. Trad stands for traditional, the trad wife movement. And a lot of women are starting to actually, millennials are the fastest growing, conservative male millennials are the fastest growing group in the country right now. Women, a lot slower to catch up. And a lot of men are saying, you know what, we don't want to be beta males. We want to be alpha males, and we want to get back to our roots. And then there is this movement of trad wives who are just saying, I want to be a stay-at-home mom. I want to be a homemaker. I want to take care of my husband. I want to go back to more simpler traditional times. Now, in this day and age, with the economy the way it is, with the administration, in the way that our country is being invaded, and the way that our inflation is through the roof, and that we're borrowing $1 trillion every 100 days, it is a mess. Society is crumbling a little more every single day. Hopefully things will turn around by this election 2024, depending on when you're listening to this. But people can't afford to buy a house. They can't afford to have kids. They can't afford to buy a house. They can't. The traditional family is crumbling a little more every day. So we have to save that. So definitely the people in today's society are so weak and so weak-minded and just physically weak. Hardly anybody works out, and they don't even push themselves. They don't want to be uncomfortable. I mean, they don't want to park too far from the Walmart door. They don't want to be too hot. You don't want to be too cold. They don't want their seat to be too hard. They don't want their seat to be too soft. I mean, we have just become so soft and comfortable in this society, but not Code Red Rebels. The entire Code Red philosophy, the entire mantra, the entire mission statement, everything embodies being anti-fragile. So let's talk about just physical. Code Red Rebels, we believe in eating 2 meals a day, spaced at least 5 hours apart, no snacking in between. Now, if you're doing a 10-pound takedown, you can do 3 meals a day. 5 hours apart, no snacking in between. Of course, on the 10-pound takedown, we say no eating after 6:30 p.m. And that's just because we want to keep things really simple and very, very simple for the 10-pound takedown, because people are coming from the standard American diet into Code Red, and we really want to make that a very seamless, easy transition for them. When you get a customized program and you take the next step, you go into our VIP program, which comes with a customized program that I write for you. We're going to hone things a lot more. You're going to get your customized macros, your customized calories, customized water amount. And then we're going to come up with 2 meals for you. The timing is based on the person. We work with you and come up with the best timing for you. And then we set that last meal is going to be set just a little bit different for someone who's in a customized program. And we work with each person individually to come up with what's right for them. Right off the bat, 2 meals spaced at least 5 hours apart, no eating after 6:30, or no eating after your customized eating time. So right off the bat, Code Red Rebels have this incredible control over hunger. Now, I'm not saying they don't feel hunger. Hunger, by the way, is a really good sign. Now, you don't want to be hangry, like Snickers says. You don't want to be turning into, Liza Minnelli in the back of a cab, all this drama queen. You don't want that. You don't want low blood sugar to where you're shaking. Now, by the way, a lot of people who have blood sugar problems, and they end up, their body's used to a certain amount of blood sugar, and then you take them on to Code Red, they might experience low blood sugar symptoms until their body, until you adjust your meds or you get used to it. But we we don't want anybody getting hurt. Certainly, we want you to monitor. If you are metabolically broken, you're pre-diabetic or you're diabetic or you have metabolic issues, you do want to monitor your blood sugar carefully and stay in touch with your primary, because if you are on metformin or glucophage, you are now eating the proper human diet of meat, vegetables, nuts, eggs, seeds, seafoods, and fat. There's less demand on your pancreas, so there's going to be less need for the medication. That's ideally. So you want to monitor those blood sugars and then bolus correctly, okay, according to what your doctor and you have discussed. Stay in touch with your doctor. Stay in touch with your doctor. You don't want to give yourself too much insulin when you don't need it. Guys, if your blood sugar is 100, you know what I'm saying? So just be careful. And I'm talking about type 2s and pre-diabetics. But hunger is not a bad thing. And any Code Red Rebel will tell you that they just smile, they laugh, they grin in the face of hunger. Hunger does not bother a Code Red Rebel. They're so resilient. They can work right through it. It ain't no big deal to a Code Red Rebel. Hungry, no big deal. And you're not going to die. We like to say you ain't going to die from skipping a meal. You ain't going to die from skipping a meal. Because we know that eating frequently completely destroys your body. We know that it beats up your digestive system. We know that eating frequently wreaks havoc on your hormones. We know that eating frequently is going to trigger a ton of insulin, and then the insulin's never going to get a chance to come back down. And insulin is the fat-producing hormone. So you want it. You just don't want very much. You don't want it very long. We know this. Code Red Rebels know this. So hunger ain't no big deal. And the great thing about coming on to Code Red is we're a high-fat diet. So the majority of our calories are coming from fat. Fat keeps you full. Fat keeps you satiated. That's the same word as full. Fat gives you energy. Fat helps regulate your hormones. Fat is going to help you sleep better. Fat is going to improve mood. There's so many benefits to a high-fat diet. When a predator kills a prey in the wild, the first thing they eat is the fat. The next thing they eat is the organs. They're very, very rich in nutrients, and we know this. Our primal self knows this. So hunger is something that Code Red Rebels quickly learn to master in their mind. They realize, oh, you ain't gonna die. My sister Carrie, when she was on Code Red, she's always said, and she lost over 100 pounds and kept it off using the proper human diet, using the Code Red rules and boundaries and guidelines and stuff. And she said that when she was fat, she would always worry when her next meal is going to be. It was a panic. When am I going to get my next food? When I got, it was always, and she tells that story often. And it's not the case with rebels. We don't, whether we get, we do, when you're in weight loss mode, you do have meal timing, and you want to make sure you get your meal timing because you are on a very specialized plan and you have goals, and we want to keep you on track. But if you're in maintenance, you'll eat when you eat. Like, it's not a big deal. Like, our life does not revolve around food. We don't worry about hunger. We enjoy food. We think is delicious. Yes, we can enjoy it together as a group. We can fellowship with food, but it doesn't rule us like it does the rest of society. Everything in society feels like it's based around food, not Code Red Rebels. We get hungry, we'll eat when we eat. It's really not a big deal. Another thing that Code Red Rebels master is water. We drink a lot of water on Code Red at first. When you first start Code Red and you're drinking a lot of water and you're peeing all the time, your body's not used to it. So you have to give it a hot minute for your kidneys to concentrate and your kidneys to realize, oh, I'm drinking this much. Okay, let me switch things around a little bit. I drink around about 180 ounces of water a day. Now, that's way more than what I need, and that's way more than I would give someone if I was giving someone my size and everything a water amount. I would not give somebody this water amount. However, I've been doing Code Red for over 10 years. I work out 3 times a day. I sit in a sauna every night that's 233 degrees before bed. This is part of my bedtime routine. We've got one of the hottest saunas in Boise on the 5th floor of my hotel where I live here at the Grove. And we're coming into summer. And so I'm sweating a lot. My body's used to it. It's just the amount that I need. And I have right around 5,000 milligrams of sodium a day. So I'm really replenishing the electrolytes, the magnesium, the sodium, the potassium. I'm making sure that I get plenty of that. And so I monitor my electrolytes, I monitor my body, and my body is used to that amount. But Code Red Rebels, we often drink quite a bit of water. Like it's just not it's not a big deal. We do go potty a lot, but we know how to navigate that. It's not a big deal to us. We just stick with water. We don't feel like we need Red Bulls or Diet Cokes or caramel macchiatos or copious amounts of coffee or wine. We're okay with our water. We're tough people. We're fine with our water. We're not one of those people that are like, I have to stop at a certain Maverick and get that certain Diet Coke out of that certain fountain machine because it tastes a certain way. And I know this because we talk about this on the 10-pound takedown, the dangers of Diet Coke or the dangers of soda. And we talk about how Carrie used to be addicted to diet soda. And we talk about, and I did too. I mean, one time I took a trip to Maui and my addiction was so severe. It ruined my trip to Maui. It ruined it. And that addiction is very, very real. Well, Code Red Rebels are fine with water. We're fine with water. We're just, it's okay. And we're anti-fragile with food because we can enjoy a small amount of food. See, when you eat high fat, there's more calories per gram when you eat when you eat something that's fat. You get more calories per gram. So you're getting more bang for the buck. For the same amount of food, you're going to get more calories. So we just enjoy it. It's full of flavor. It's just we don't need that much food because we eat such a high fat diet. We don't need to gorge ourselves. When you're on the standard American diet where it's 60% processed carbs, you're going to need a lot of it because your cells aren't getting nourished. So your body's going to continue to send hunger signals and signals that it needs more because your cells are actually starving. But with meat, vegetables, nuts, eggs, seeds, seafoods, and fat, with eggs and bacon and steak and asparagus and butter on top, it's you don't get you're giving your body exactly what we're created to eat. So we don't have those horrible feeling. We don't have that starving feeling because we're getting nourished all the way to our cells. Our cells are getting what they need. So Code Red Rebels are indifferent when it comes to food because your body is satisfied and it's not screaming out. Of course, those of you who eat processed food, I don't know if anybody listens to this podcast and eat processed food. Maybe you still do, but you will notice, and I've gone through these bouts in my life where I'll eat some processed food. You'll just notice that you're constantly hungry. Well, of course they're going to do that. First of all, this is not real food. It's food like product made in a lab. And second of all, it's made to addict you. Why? Because if you addict a customer, you get a customer for life. So they want you to continue to buy more food. So you're not going to feel satisfied. They want that. They genetically engineered that right into the food to make you want more and more and more and more. At the time that you're putting it in your mouth, it tastes like the most fulfilling thing you've ever had, but it doesn't actually nourish your cells because it's fake food. It's made in a factory. It's Frankenfood. So Code Red Rebels understand that it doesn't take a lot of food to make them happy because it's so rich and filling and so good. I mean, give me a ribeye steak, give me shrimp, give me butter. Oh, dear Lord, oh my gosh. Like there's just so much that we eat as Code Red Rebels. So we're anti-fragile. We don't need a lot of fancy food. We don't need the funnel cakes from the fair. We don't need the Costco samples. We don't need the caramel macchiatos and the cake pops. We don't, because we ate eggs, bacon, and avocado before we took this road trip. So we're not always feeling like we need to stop a lot. Another thing that makes Code Red Rebels anti-fragile is the way that we handle social situations. As a Code Red Rebel, we are the minority. People are becoming more comfortable talking about sugar addiction and how obesity is killing more people than drugs and alcohol combined. But we still have, we're still surrounded by food at every turn. You go into Home Depot to buy a doorknob, you've got Swedish fish and M&Ms as staring at you in the face as you are trying to wait in the checkout line. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. But social situations, that's something that a Code Red Rebels know, that we know how to navigate. We practice this. We talk about it. We go through drills. We drill this. I've written books about this. I've got PDF handouts about this. I've done workshops about this. I think I did a workshop called "How to Stay on Track in Social Situations." I mean, we always drill. We train for this. A Code Red Rebel trains for the social situations, because inevitably you will get bullied, attempted bully. Inevitably, someone's going to try to put a drink in your hand. Inevitably, you go out to the Christmas party for your company, and people, they see that you're sipping on water, or they see you're not eating or drinking anything. And what it is your resolve, your discipline, it convicts them. So they're going to try to pressure you to give in, give you a Moscow Mule, or have you just, it'll just be one drink, just one glass of champagne to celebrate. It's all, oh my gosh. And Code Red Rebels are just so anti-fragile. We know what to do. We've already rehearsed. We've already drilled for this. We're ready for it. We know how to handle it. I have done so many teachings on this. Our Code Red Rebels we just know how to handle social situations, because we are the minority. Right now, 2024, 88% of this country is overweight, and almost 50% is obese. Right now, as of a study in this with the Center of Children's Health, in 2020, 1 in 6 kids was obese. 1 in 6. That was 4 years ago, right before lockdown. I'm sure it's worse now. So we are the minority, Code Red Rebels. That's why you guys have got to come to the Code Red Retreat in September 2024. We have 2 retreats to choose from. September 19, 20, 21, 22. That's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Or September 22, 23, 24, 25. That's a Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whichever one works for you. They're the same exact retreat, 25 people at each retreat. It's all inclusive. Plus, you get your own room and your own bathroom in a brand new condo in the Tamarack Village. They're beautiful, all inclusive. Everything's included. But the great thing is you are surrounded for 4 days by like-minded people. You do not have to fight. You don't have to be bullied. You don't have to be pressured. You're not going to get guilted. There's no shame. Everybody's on the same journey. And I'm telling you right now, that could fill up your love cup. Go to coderedlifestyle.com/retreat. If you are interested, I'm 50% sold out right now, and we still have 4 months left: June, July, August, September, 4 months. You don't have to pay for all of it right now, by the way. It's half now, half at the end of August. And I have never raised my prices. I think this is like my 7th retreat or 8th retreat or something. That includes everything: your zip lining, your activities, your workshops, your morning walks with Cristy, your hot tubbing, your swag bag, everybody's going to get a new jogger and a new hoodie. Everything's included. All your food, all your hydration, all your electrolytes, all your coffee and tea station, everything you need to doctor it up. Everything's included. We'll even get you to Tamarack if you just get to Boise. We'll get a ride for you to get to the retreat. It's beautiful. That's it. When you're a Code Red Rebel and you feel like you're alone all the time, and everybody in your church, nobody's a rebel. So everybody in your church is fat and they're unhealthy. Everybody in your mom's group, fat and unhealthy. Everybody in your bowling league, fat and unhealthy, and they drink during the nights when they're bowling. I mean, everybody at work, fat and unhealthy. You've got nobody on your team. And so going to a Code Red retreat is a really great way to reset and recharge your batteries and fill up your love cup. So really check that out, coderedlifestyle.com/retreat. It's amazing. And so social situations are something that we drill for over and over. We train for it. Just like the military, we train for this because inevitably you will be bullied. Inevitably, someone's going to say some bull crap they think it's okay to say. We just become anti-fragile. Code Red rebels are anti-fragile when it comes to social situations. How about family situations? That's another one that we talk about constantly on Code Red and we drill for all the time. Family situations. And what is it about family members who claim to love us, and they do love us, but they think it's okay that your brother's wife thinks it's okay to say something to you about your weight or about the fact that you're drinking a gallon of water a day? Like something derogatory, not something encouraging, like, shh. Ain't nobody said nothing to you when you were having a 2 liter of Diet Coke every day, but drink a gallon of water every day. Katie, bar the door. Katie, bar the door. It's baloney. I know. But again, your discipline, your resolve, your boundaries, your goals convict them because they don't have any set in place. Preach at all times. If necessary, use words. Do not say anything unless you absolutely have to. In fact, sometimes it's best to not say anything just to look like this. Yeah, for those of you listening on podcast, I'm just looking at the camera in that awkward pause. You're going to get something said to you about family members. And they might mean well, or they might be trying to be mean and nasty and hurtful, trying to take a shot at you. I know that a lot of you guys have been victimized and abused by family members, and this is an ongoing problem. You need therapy. Look into some therapy because these wounds run deep and they can be healed. But understand that a 30-day challenge is not going to heal the wounds from your childhood that have resulted in your obesity. You're going to need some deeper help than that. So we have a couple of emotional eating programs that you can look into. We have What's Eating You. We have Code Red Loss and Grieving. We have Loving the New You. We have a couple of resources for you to look into if you want to go that route, or you want to actually go into a counseling group, or you want to go see a counselor, a licensed counselor, someone who specializes in childhood victimization or childhood trauma, because we don't believe that obesity is a problem. We believe it's the result of a bigger problem. You've packed on this weight. Nobody packs on 100 pounds just from going on a cruise. Like, this is repeated abuse of food, sugar, and alcohol over and over and over and over for a long time. But when it comes to family members, Code Red Rebels are tough as nails. We know how to handle it. We know how to deal with your cousin's wife or your mother-in-law trying to feed your kids candy when you have said, Mom, we don't do that anymore. Please just give them sugar-free popsicles made from Hydrocharge. Please don't jack them up. Please don't feed them that. Please don't. Or a lot of you guys are divorced and you're, her, dad's house and your house, and they're going back and forth. And, Code Red Rebels are resilient. We know how to navigate those things. That's a really big deal for a Code Red Rebel. And of course, mental resilience. Code Red Rebels are mentally tough. We have to deal with our own battles going on in our minds all the time. People say it's just one decision. It's just one decision. I say bull crap. I've done podcasts on this before. It ain't never just one decision. It was just one decision to click on 10poundtakedown.com. And then it was another decision to put in your credit card information and sign up for the next challenge. And then it was another decision to print off your tracking sheets and hang them on your refrigerator or your bathroom mirror. It was another decision to clean out your cupboards. It was then another decision to watch the morning videos that I do every single day for 30 days. Then it was another decision to weigh the next morning completely naked right after you wake up and after you go potty. Then it was another decision to fill up your water and turn on the Diet Coke. Guys, it ain't never just one decision when it comes to getting healthy. It's one after the next, after the next, after the next. And like my Aunt Barbara said years ago, sometimes you're making a decision every hour with regard to your weight loss journey. Sometimes it's every hour. It's every hour. And it gets easier, by the way. You can make it tougher on yourself by keeping junk food in the house, by keeping your old friends around that constantly hound you and constantly go out for margarita Mondays and constantly drinking all the time, and you're trying to give it up and yet you're still around those people. You can make it really hard for yourself. But mentally, we are so anti-fragile because we just have to deal with so many demons in our head, don't we? We have to deal with so much stuff that and decades, years and decades of negative talk. Because when you make a change, like taking your life back, you have to shift your identity. That's why we do the identity shift. Because it's not about changing your behavior. Changing your behavior is only going to get you temporary results. And they say it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle. It is. I get that. It is a lifestyle, but you have to start viewing yourself as a different person. You have to change your entire identity. And without that, you're just relying on these small behavior changes that are only getting you so far. So mentally, Code Red Rebels have to do the work. And even people that get into maintenance, the work doesn't stop. Believe me, the work does not stop when you get into maintenance. And so mentally, Code Red Rebels have become so anti-fragile because we have just learned to navigate the demons in our head, the years and decades of the negative self-talk, the shaming, possibly being in around people that don't pour into you the love and encouragement that you might need, and you're just like, ain't nobody coming for me. I gotta cheer for my own self. Like Snoop says, I'd like to thank me. He was doing remember that speech he was doing here a couple of years ago, and he said, I'd like to thank me. Another thing that I like about Code Red Rebels that help us become anti-fragile is just the discipline. The discipline it takes, especially when it comes to sleep. Sleep is the number one biggest rule in weight loss and overall good health. And when it comes to sleep, you have to have boundaries put in place. And the discipline, you put those in place so that you can adhere to the program. You don't rely on willpower. Oh my gosh, nobody in Code Red relies on willpower. That crap goes away in like 4 seconds. Willpower, no, we don't know. We rely on discipline to help us adhere to the program. The program says 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night, or a sleep score in the 80s. If you track your sleep score. My Fitbit just recently broke, and I was just on the phone with Fitbit here before I started recording, and they're sending me a new Fitbit, and I'm without a Fitbit. I don't know what my sleep score is, so I have been without that data, and I can't quantify it. It's been just driving me crazy. So we do a sleep score in the 80s. If you're getting in the 80s, then great. If you're working your way toward the 80s, great. If you're starting off at a 67 and now you're at a 73 and it's been 10 days, okay, you're moving in a direction of better. A 73 for me, I'd be pretty catatonic. I'd be miserable. I would not be doing too well. For you, that might be like, I got a newborn baby. That's awesome. Okay, good. But you want to be moving towards the 80s. Towards the 90s, I mean, getting 88. I mean, I get upper 80s when my Fitbit's working. I get upper 80s every night. I get between 85 and 92 almost every single night. But Code Red Rebels are so anti-fragile because we put measures in place to protect our choices. We are disciplined. I'm telling you, I love that. I'm getting ready to have a maintenance retreat in Boise the third week of June, and it's for maintenance rebels only. It's only 10 people. And it's a weekend with Cristy. It's like mindful maintenance with Cristy. And it's a weekend with Cristy, a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And we're going to be doing some maintenance things that I won't talk about. It's just for us girls. And it's funny because if you go anywhere with a Code Red Rebel, and I've done other things with my coaches before, and we're getting ready this weekend to go to Jackson Hole, Wyoming to run a half marathon, my coaches and me. And I know we're all going to be going to sleep on time. Now, I will say that I'm the one who rented the minivan, and Coach Melanie doesn't come in until late Friday night before the race. So everybody's going to be asleep and I'm going to get up and I'm going to drive back to the airport from the Airbnb and pick her up because I'm the licensed driver for who rented the van. And, so other than that, if she weren't coming in and she's flying in from a very small town, they had very limited flights. I don't know. I don't know. But other than that, we would all be in bed really early. But we also have to be up at 4 to race. I think the race starts at 6. So it's really going to be we're probably all going to be just a bit sleep deprived. But on a normal basis, like a Code Red retreat where all the coaches are going to be there, usually everybody leaves the house. Everybody leaves the host house at 6 p.m. That's when the day ends. And then you can go back to your condo. You can go, we have this giant hot tub at the resort. And usually all the girls go and they sit in the hot tub, all the guests and stuff. And then the coaches and I and mom, my mom cooks all the food. We stay at the host house and we lock the door and it's just us coaches. And it's really nice to spend time just with us together. But like 8 p.m., we're like, all right, good night. And it's just nice because nobody ever questions anybody. We know we need our sleep. We're going to be back up early and we get to bed early. And the girls usually have some work to do, and I have work to do. So I need to get back to my cabin and do some work. I need to get Hazel situated for bed. My mom needs to, we just all have it's just not a big deal when it comes to sleep for a Code Red Rebel. Nobody says anything. Nobody bullies anybody. Nobody, we just understand that sleep is important. And I'm going to start my bedtime routine. I'm going to put my blue light blocking glasses on. I'm going to cool down the room. We want to sleep in a cool, dark room. I sleep in 66 degrees. I turn my air down to 66 degrees. I have these blackout shades and it's quiet. I've got a box fan from Walmart going. It goes like that. It rattles. I want it to rattle. And that's the way that we do things. That's just how Code Red Rebels are. We are disciplined and therefore anti-fragile. Because we have trained our bodies and our minds to be this way. We have created a lifestyle that fosters this harder to kill mentality, this anti-fragile mentality, and it spills out into every area of our life. Our coworkers, our church goers, our other people, our other family members, the other parents at the PTA. When you're driving the soccer team, every area of your life levels up when you become a Code Red Rebel because you become anti-fragile and harder to kill. That's why I want to be on a stranded island with a Code Red Rebel. That's why I want to be in the apocalypse with a Code Red Rebel. I don't want to be with somebody who is so mealy and such a whiny hiney and someone who just gives in at every little whim and has no grit to them. Code Red Rebels have grit. And I love that about us. I do. If you're not a Code Red Rebel and you're listening to this, we would love to have you, but understand that is what I expect of you. I'm not here to hold hands around the fireplace and sing Kumbaya and tell you it's okay that you had a bottle of wine and you washed a bag of Oreos down with a bottle of wine. That's okay. You'll do better next time. We hold our feet to the fire. We hold each other's feet to the fire. We're meant for more, and we expect more of ourselves and of each other. If I'm going to go to war, I want to go to war with a Code Red Rebel. They're tougher than your average person. If you are ready for this, then we would love to have you. But if you need a softer approach, go to Weight Watchers, go to Noom, go to Nutrisystem, go somewhere else. Because Code Red Rebels are built different. And I don't want to water down this brand just because you got your feelings hurt. I'm looking for people to be anti-fragile because I'm telling you, this year, 2024 is going to get real tough. Something is coming. And those of you who know, if you know, you know, if you know, you know, something is coming to the United States of America. And we have got to be ready for it. If you know, you know. If you're watching on YouTube and you're looking in my eyes, then you do know what I'm talking about. Something big is coming. You know it. I know it. You can feel it in your spirit. You can feel it in your gut. And I'm telling you, you better toughen up because this country is getting ready to to change, and something's going to knock the wind right out of us. And not a Code Red Rebel, though. We're going to be ready because we are anti-fragile. I'll see you on the next one. Thank you so much for listening to Rebel Weight Loss and Lifestyle. If you are looking for some hardcore accountability to get and keep this weight off, look no further, because I've got VIP Connection. This is the ultimate connection to me, just short of me sleeping on your couch. You're going to get 3 daily messages from me in real time directly to you. You're going to submit your weight every Friday. We're going to go over it in a weekly meeting on Sunday nights, and I'm going to give you feedback. You'll have access to a monthly VIP breakfast with me in Boise, a monthly VIP supplement box, access to any workshop, any PDF promo that I hold for that month. You'll have access to the Ringside membership. And best of all, you'll have a fully customized nutrition program written just for you. We're talking about over $3,000 total value for $397 a month, and you can cancel anytime. Go to coderedlifestyle.com/VIP to check that out.